We begin here. The former President Jacob Zuma says the Umkhonto we Sizwe party is deliberately not appointing a national executive committee. Zuma says there's no member of the MK party's top executive who will be deployed to parliament as a minister. The MK party endorser was speaking at the party's election campaign rally in Umsinga, KwaZulu-Natal. Newzroom Afrika's Dando Mnyandu attended the rally and joins us live. Dando, former President Jacob Zuma delivering the MK's message to the people of Umsinga. What has he said there?
Well, the former president and the endorser and the presidential candidate for Umkhonto we Sizwe did not mince his word from the beginning of his speech, saying that what has happened in South Africa is that those who are voted into power to serve at the behest of the people, at times they forget that they do so, on behalf of the electorate. They think they govern the country, for themselves, saying that at times they do not even want to relinquish power. He says that, 30 years into democracy, it's unfortunate that black people, as a majority, still struggle, faced with abject poverty. So he came with quite a number of promises should people vote for Umkhonto we Sizwe towards, as he said, well, it's only 8 weeks now before the May 29 elections. But to tell us more about what is the party's posture towards the elections, I'm joined by Nhlamulo Ndlela, who's the national spokesperson for Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Babu Ndlela, why did you choose to come to Umsinga, and what are you bringing to the people of Umsinga as MK party?
Well, we've been going throughout the country, having rallies and meet and greets. Umsinga, the people of Umsinga, as you can see, came out in their numbers, wanted to see Babu Msholo, the President Jacob Zuma, to come and address them about some of the challenges that they're faced with. Issues of load shedding, issues of water. There's crime in this area. And the biggest issue again is that there's poverty. So President Zuma came to address them and to allay their concerns and let them know that upon Umkhonto we Sizwe being appointed into government, upon us being taking over this machinery, things are going to change, and this is exactly what's going to happen.
He came hard and said, right now we are operating under an interim structure, and it is deliberate that you have not yet chosen the National Executive Committee, saying that national office bearers will not form part of the cabinet. Why is it so? Why are you changing the ball game?
Well, we have to change the ball game. We cannot continue with the current status quo, as we know with many other parties. Going into elections, you can go into elections with an interim structure. It's been done by the EFF, it's been done by Action SA. So this is not new. But what's also important is that the biggest issue is that people want to become into leadership structures in a political party so that they can actually become ministers and gain positions. We're saying that's not going to happen. When you sit in the NEC or the leadership core of the party, you're not going to play a role in government, because the people in government ought to be accounting to us. And that's exactly how our approach is going to be.
The issue of poverty and crime, former president says that you will reintroduce, or you will introduce military training for school leavers. Why do you think that is important? How will that, change the lives of the majority of young people in this country who lack employment, even after graduating, getting educational qualifications, but they still struggle to penetrate the job market?
Well, the first and foremost is that we cannot be selling our state-owned entities. Because through these state-owned entities where we should be absorbing the youth, and bringing them in terms of internships. As it is with the Cyril-led Ramaphosa government, they want to sell off our state assets. And these are the state assets that ought to be the backbone of our economy, to run the economy and create a platform for our students that when they actually leave, in this case university, that they actually get jobs. And that's the first one. The other one is as it pertains to the issue of poverty. We're going to deal with the issue of poverty, and what we've asked is that people in this country must vote for Umkhonto we Sizwe. The current government is not delivering. There's water shedding, there's load shedding. The currency as it is, we've lost 48% of our country's currency. Why? Because we don't have proper infrastructure, we don't have lights, and that's the biggest problem in this country.
You've been traversing South Africa, crisscrossing the country, trying to garner support and gain favor in the face of the electorate. How has the response been? And we see that, you are big on going to rural areas. You've been to Makongo. Today you are here in Umsinga. You have traveled to Bloemfontein. You've been to Limpopo. You've been to Mpumalanga. What is the response from your experience?
Well, the response has been resounding. People have been coming out in their droves, in the form of families, elders, children, and so on and so forth. And what's most important is that we need to develop our rural areas. President Zuma today stated very clearly that we should be taking the factories back to the rural areas so that people can have jobs there in the rural areas. As it is, the rural areas have been neglected. President Zuma, when he was president, in Mueshe, he built a police station, he built clinics there in Limpopo. Today, under this current government, that infrastructure is dilapidated and there's no services. So that's why it's important that if we're going to show true organic service delivery in this country as a government, we need to go to the downtrodden people who don't have the infrastructure and give them that infrastructure in the rural areas.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Well, that is Nhlamulo Ndlela, the national spokesperson for the Umkhonto weSizwe Party. Well, the former President Jacob Zuma, who's the endorser of MK Party, also said they want to to take the power back to traditional leaders. As he says, they are closer to the people. They know about the land. They govern the land. So they want them to form part of government, come 2024, just after the May 29 elections. Well, the former president came, he delivered the speech, but numbers would have to tell a better story when people go to the polls on the 29th of May for those general elections. It's back to you for now, Tata.
That's our reporter, Ntandomnyandu. He's out in Umsinga this time around with